I just said to them, I can't. I think you have. Yeah, I mean.
His mother. It was hard.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to make note that on April 12th, pursuant to the Sunshine Act, we had an executive session relating to labor relations. Roll call, please.
Mayor Calabrese,
Present.
Councilor Fascio,
Present.
Councilman Getzey,
Present.
Councilwoman Sapp, Deputy Mayor Pecora.
Present.
Just to note, Councilwoman Sapp is participating by phone this evening.
May I get a motion for the approval of the minutes for March 21st, 2022?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of March 21st, 2022.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Pecora. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any public comment? Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Councilor Fascio,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sapp. Deputy Mayor Pecora.
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Minutes approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for item number 5, approval of expenditures?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve expenditures totaling $1,709,169.34.
Thank you, Councilor Fascio. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Getzey. Any public comment? Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Getzey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sapp. Deputy Mayor Pecora.
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Councilor Fascio.
Yes.
Expenses approved. Next on the agenda is the time reserved for comments on non-agenda items for individuals that signed up a week in advance. First and the only non-agenda comment this evening is Greg Swachik. If you could please address the podium and also be mindful of the 3-minute rule.
Thank you for allowing me to address you this evening. I just noticed when I came in on the agenda, just for posterity, it's C-H-I-C-K, not C-H-I-K.
My apologies.
That's all right.
Sir.
And Scott, in the past, when you put people's name down, like Aaron Vecchio, it said dash code enforcement, and you usually request we give a subject matter. I did give you a subject matter. I don't see it here, so for the record, it's policy, procedure, consistency, quality control, and the Penn Hills map renditions. I'd like to start the 3 minutes now, if I could, since I'm
sorry, it's 3 minutes. Your 3 minutes is going.
okay. By and large, there's been a good effort made to adequately advise the public regarding various municipal policies and procedures. There are, however, a few things that could easily be improved upon to enhance consistency and quality control aspects. One thing in particular involves my and 7 immediate neighbors' parcels of land as depicted on the Penn Hills website's map tab. The magnitude of my misrepresentation totals 3,790 square feet, representing 1/6 of the overall discrepancy. Some of the specific errors and discrepancies have been explored by me with Chris Blackwell, our planning director, Meg Balsamico, the principal planner, excuse me, our IT liaison, Jesse, as well as a few Allegheny County employees to include its mapping manager, Darren Gessler. I also reached out to our engineer at Gateway and Penn Hills manager, Scott Andrachek, but they did not return my calls. A Gateway representative did show the courtesy to at least call to advise me that as a process would have it, they as an entity do not deal directly with an individual citizen, which I now fully understand and respect. What I still do not understand is why the best of what Penn Hills and the county has to offer remains in direct odds with each other in terms of who, what, where, when, why, and how this mystifying reality came to be, let alone how to adjust the databases being tapped to present everything properly. We need to maintain the public perception surrounding good government. Please also consider clarifying when we come up to review files where we're supposed to go. Meg told me, sit at the table under the Planning Commission window. You can't remove the files from here. Someone else told me, use the table here at a different time. The manager motioned me to go over that way across the lobby once. I thought he was inviting me to use the circular conference room to sit down and open drawings up. But it was the couch.
Your comments.
Pardon me?
Could you please conclude your comments?
Yes. But he meant the couch outside. So it was very awkward for me to take notes, open folders, drawings, whatever. The last thing is the use of the screens here. I don't know what the policy is. I have inconsistent input from municipal employees
Your 3 minutes
whether
is
we can
exceeded.
use them to facilitate communication. Your Honor, this is my last sentence. Your Honor, you have referred to all of us as one big family, in a way. And to that end, while I understand the distinction between our government entity and the general public, I see no reason why the taxpayers of the government center, its furnishings, its equipment, its employees, and any of its internal workings should ever resemble a dysfunctional family. Thank you.
Thank you. May I get a motion for item number 7A?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for item number 7A, Resolution 2022-16, designated a portion of Old William Penn Highway, Senator Frank A. Pecora Memorial Highway.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. May I get a second?
I'd like to second, Mayor.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Sapp?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Pecora?
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese?
Yes.
Councilor Fascio?
Yes.
Councilman Getzey?
Yes.
Okay, item 7A approved.
Accordingly, then, a resolution of the Municipality of Penn Hills, County of Allegheny, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, designating a portion of Old William Penn Highway as the Senator Frank A. Pecora Memorial Highway. Whereas Senator Frank Pecora began a career in public service in the 1960s as an activist forming the Penn Hills Taxpayers League, and he was elected as a commissioner for the Township of Penn Hills in 1971, and later a councilman for the municipality of Penn Hills. And whereas the senator was instrumental in establishing the Penn Hills Ambulance Service, the Penn Hills Senior Center, and Penn Hills Library. And whereas the senator was elected in 1978 to the 44th Pennsylvania Senatorial District, representing the municipality of Penn Hills with honor and distinction as the first Penn Hills resident to serve in the Pennsylvania Senate. And whereas Senator Pecora worked to obtain funding for the Western Pennsylvania School for the Deaf, was an early advocate for autism support services, supported investments in Penn Hills parks and infrastructure. And whereas he served in the Senate until his retirement in 1994 and continued to serve this community as the University of Pittsburgh trustee, as a member of the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 91, and whereas there has never been any public facility or roadway named to honor the senator, it is fitting and proper to give tribute to Senator Pecora's service to the residents of Penn Hills, recognize the public service contributions he made, and officially honor his legacy in his hometown of Penn Hills. That a copy of this resolution be presented to Mrs. Barbara A. Pecora, the wife of the late senator, and her family. Now therefore, be it resolved by the municipality of Penn Hills, in a meeting duly convened, the following. The municipality of Penn Hills designates a portion of Old William Penn Highway starting at 4091 Old William Penn Highway and ending at the intersection of Old William Penn Highway and Jefferson Heights Roads as the, quote, Senator Frank A. Pecora Memorial Highway. This resolution was approved and adopted by Mayor and Council of the municipality of Penn Hills this 18th day of April 2022. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Betsy, for voting for Frank. He was a good man. Did you know him?
Vaguely.
Thank you. Here you go, Mrs. Cole. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sure. Sure, feel free.
Okay. Mayor Calabrese, Deputy Mayor Pecora, council members, Ms. Sapp, Joanne Fazio, and Jim Getzey, distinguished panel, and all the members of the audience here tonight. First of all, I want to thank you for introducing and voting for this resolution honoring my late husband, Senator Frank Pecora, in naming a portion of Old William Penn Highway in his memory. Frank dedicated most of his adult life to public service, not only in the 44th Senatorial District, of which he represented in Harrisburg, but also for the years he spent representing the citizens of his hometown here in Penn Hills. I think, as many of you know here, the older people especially, Frank was not your typical politician. He didn't care if you were rich or poor, influential or not, or a Democrat or a Republican or an independent. It didn't matter to him. He certainly wasn't a friend of the powers that be, the movers and shakers of that time. To put it mildly, his political years were difficult, but despite everything, he continued to work tirelessly for all the people he served with honor, honesty, and fidelity to the oath of office he swore to uphold. Tonight, I and my family are deeply and humbled and grateful for this wonderful and lasting tribute given for him. Thank you very, very much. God bless you all.
May I please get a motion for item 7B?
Awarding the Covington Water Line
Thank you, Councilman Getzey. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Pecora. Any public comment? Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilor Fascio,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sapp.
Yes.
Item 7B approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for item 7C?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2022-18, approving a change order deduction with Centimark Roofing in the amount of $7,736.95.
Thank you, Councilor Fascio. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Getzey. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council?
Mayor Calabrese?
Yes, Councilwoman Sapp.
Yes, can we just get clarification on why we have the change order?
Absolutely, you read my mind. And for those of you who can't hear, Councilwoman Sapp said she wanted clarification as to why there's the change order.
Sure, I'd be happy to answer that, Councilwoman Sapp, and if I miss anything, our director is here as is the engineer. We brought this forward as a deduction. Council has approved previously a roofing project at the plant, but we're actually able to remove some of the work and save some money. Usually these change orders always come through as a cost increase to the municipality. We felt that we wanted to show the mayor and council as well as the public that sometimes we are actually able to save money this way too. So the reason for the deduct is we had some of the work removed on the roof. I think it was the angles, if I'm getting a nod. So there was some work that was removed from the project. If you wanted to know more about what the work was, I would have to defer to the director.
Bottom line, we're saving money. I think, okay, Councilwoman Sapp wanted more detail. Mr. Minsterman, are you on the line?
Yes, I am, Madam Mayor. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, the detail, three specific reasons we were able to reduce the lineal feet of work from item 7, which was installation of a new parapet. So it went from 120 lineal feet to 105 lineal feet to match the actual quantity. So that totaled just a few $100s. Work item number 9 was removed. This, as the manager mentioned, this was the installation of galvanized metal angles that were to be installed. However, after further review, once the roof was removed, the item that was placed in the contract was not necessary. And that's why the item was placed originally, because you can't see some of the damage until the roof is removed. In this case, we had good luck, and the angles were not required. And lastly, there was an item to install a penetration into the roof for a new exhaust fan, totaling about $4,400. And excuse me, those galvanized metal angles saved about $3,000. And the penetration, the new penetration for the exhaust fan, we were able to save that in working with water pollution control and another contractor working on the site who was actually installing the new exhaust fan. So the way it was originally designed, the roofer would make the penetration, and then the new company would come in and install the exhaust fan. Well, since they both were on site at one time, we were able to actually use the existing penetration, and so that savings was able to be realized as well. So a total $7,736.95 in savings.
Thank you very much. Any further comment from council?
Not under warranty?
Do you want to?
Could you repeat that, Councilwoman Sapp?
Yes, so I was asking, so this is the work on the government building, and I apologize if it was hard to hear our engineer.
No, this is actually not at the government center. This is at the Sandy Creek plant, and we have approved to install a roof there, but we're able to take some savings on the project.
Okay, I got it. Okay, thank you so much, and I understand the clarification now. Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilor Fascio,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sapp, Deputy Mayor Pecora.
Yes.
Item 7C approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for Resolution 7D?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2022-19, awarding the Penn Hills Phase 14,
Yes.
2022 sewer repair contract A to State Pipe Services in the amount of $772,375, and contract B to Insight Pipe Contracting LLC in the amount of $669,534.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilwoman Sapp. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? See, nobody wants to make these motions when you put Roman numerals in there because
It's a test.
roll call, please.
Councilor Fascio,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sapp, Deputy Mayor Pecora.
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Okay, Resolution 19 approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for Resolution 7E?
Mayor, I'll make a motion for approval, Resolution 2022, approving the submission of a grant application to Allegheny County for Act 152 demolition funding of $127,000. Coordinate with the Turtle Creek Valley Council of Government administration of the funds.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council?
I have a comment.
Yes, Councilman Getzey.
Do we have a representative with the Turtle Creek Valley Council of Government? Because the last time we did was Patrucci had been elected or nominated for that position. And since he's no longer on council, is there any coordinating person from this council?
Yeah. Actually, I am the delegate, and
The alternate.
but the manager has been with me at meetings and so forth. He tells me he has to check who the alternate is, but right now I'm the delegate. Yes.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Any further comment from council? Roll call, please.
Councilman Getzey.
Yes?
Councilwoman Sapp. Deputy Mayor Pecora.
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Councilor Fascio.
Yes.
Resolution 20 approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for Resolution 7F?
I make a motion that we approve Resolution 2022-21, identifying the existence of unsafe blighted structures for use of Act 152 funds.
Thank you, Councilman Getzey. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Fascio. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Sapp. Yes. Deputy Mayor Pecora.
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Councilor Fascio.
Yes.
Councilman Getzey.
Yes?
Resolution 21 approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for item 7G?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2-22, awarding the 2022 multimodal road program to A. Felino Construction in the amount of $1,485,181.69.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council? Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Pecora.
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Councilor Fascio.
Yes.
Councilman Getzey.
Yes?
Councilwoman Sapp. Resolution 22 approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for item 7H?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2022-23, approving change order number 2 with Westmoreland Sanitary Landfill for $89,852.49.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilwoman Sapp. Any comment from the public? Yes, please come up.
My name is Bill Miles, 1335 Maple Avenue. I have a question of why is this change order necessary? $89,000 is a lot of money. When they usually bid their contracts, they're supposed to know what they're doing when they bid them.
Right, as soon as, when we get to comments from council, that was a question that we wanted to have explained too, so that will be addressed.
Okay, when I read in the budget that the holding tank that they're evacuating, they measured 7 inches of sludge, and when they went to evacuate, they found 24 inches of sludge. Are you aware of that?
We are.
So what happened, they weren't informed how large this tank was to begin with. When they first measured it, they didn't realize this tank was a lot deeper than it actually is. when they first measured the 7 inches. They should have known there was 24 more inches in the bottom of that tank. If they were given a print or information on how large this tank was, they would have known there was more material in that tank to be evacuated, and they would have bid accordingly. You know, constantly we're seeing these bids after the fact. You know, they come in low and then bang, you get it with another $90,000. So somebody's dropping the ball and not telling these people or giving them enough information to make a proper bid. Thank you very much.
Any further comment from the public? Any comment from council? Mr. Minsterman, you're still on, correct? Is he still on? Mr. Minsterman, can you please give us some details about item 7H?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. The comment that the gentleman made is correct-ish. There was approximately 6 or 7 inches of sludge that was measured in this tank. I'll give you some history so that we can remember why we were cleaning this tank. And if you remember, there was this particular tank had a failing roof that needed to be repaired before it completely failed and collapsed onto the pumping system beneath it. So there was an urgency to do this work. The first thing that had to be done was that the tank had to be cleaned. Now, we had a structural contractor that was coming in to do the physical repairs to the roof, which is the ceiling inside the tank. This is a very large tank, and it's all underground. And so the tank had to be completely clean to allow safe entry of the workers to make the structural repairs. And that was all done safely and successfully and within budget for the structural contract. So what happened with the sludge in the tank is that the tank was dipped. It was measured to show 6 or 7 inches of sludge. You currently have a contract with Westmoreland landfill who disposes of your sewage from your treatment plant. We had a unit price for that disposal. They also have the ability to clean tanks. And because of the urgency related to the collapsing roof, the tanks, we were able to utilize this existing contract and save 2 to 3 months on the normal bid process. So you had a very good disposal price for the sludge itself. And they were also able to come in and do the cleaning. Now, the cleaning is the tough part. You know, getting it out and getting it solidified to be transported for disposal is the hard part. And that, what ended up happening here is the reason that the 30 inches of sludge wasn't detected and only 6 inches of it or so was, that there was an additional 24 inches of hardened sludge. And so the reason for that, usually the sludge is liquefied. When you dip a tank with a rod, it's easily penetrable to the base of the tank, and you're able to get a thickness of sludge, an accurate thickness of the sludge. In this case, the tank hadn't been cleaned for so long, the sludge itself actually became very hard and even solid. And when they dipped the tank, they thought they were dipping to the base of the tank, when in fact it was the top of the 24-inch of hardened sludge. So what ended up happening is when the contractor went in to start to do the work, he said, hey, there's not 6 or 7 inches of sludge, there's 30 inches of sludge. So the original change order, the cost to clean this tank and dispose of the sludge was $77,000. That was entered into with the Westmoreland, both for the disposal of the sludge as well as the cleaning of the tank. And so that was in place. Once they got to the tank and saw the true amount of sludge, the contractor came back and said, hey, $77,000 isn't going to be enough. There's 4 times the volume of sludge that is in that tank. So what the Water Pollution Control Department director authorized was them to submit a new bid of the cost to do the additional sludge, and to have Gateway oversee and watch this work, because it couldn't be, they wouldn't give us a price for the total removal, a lump sum price. It was a time and material price for the work to clean this extra sludge that was hardened. It wasn't liquefied, it couldn't be pumped. They had to actually get in and break out the sludge with equipment and men for several weeks. And anyway, that's the background on it. The additional change order is for the removal and disposal of the additional sludge. Now, the reason it's more cost effective than the first 6 inches, or we got 24 inches for about the same price as 6 inches, is because most of the work, the mobilization, the equipment, the centrifuge, the roll-off, all of that base work was covered under the original contract. So you got a very good cost per gallon to remove that sludge. So once again, all that work was done, and the tank was successfully repaired, and this is the change order to authorize the approval to pay that vendor, that existing vendor that you had a contract with, to recover the costs for the additional work under those emergency circumstances.
Thank you. Any further comment from council?
Yes, one more question. Can you tell us when the last time this tank was cleaned prior to this?
Well, I've been working in Penn Hills for, I want to say, 16 years, and it hasn't been cleaned while I've been here. So it's longer than that.
Okay, thank you.
And just to reiterate, this was really, truly a matter of life or death for workers to go in there. I mean, that had to be removed. If that roof would have collapsed on the workers, it would be a tragedy. Roll call, please.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilor Fascio,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sapp, Deputy Mayor Pecora.
Yes.
Resolution 23 approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for Resolution 7I?
I'll make a motion to ratify Resolution 2022-24 approving grant application to fiscal year 23 appropriations, community project funding, CPF for improvements to Rhode Island Road.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comment from the public? Any comment from?
Mayor, just a quick thing.
Yes, will you please, for the record, I know it sounds formal, but if you could please state your name and your address, because we're making a record.
Okay, Greg Swatchik, 648 Gramick Lane.
Thank you.
Just a quick thing. I was in, as you know, most of you were, on the workshop meeting dealing with Rhode Island Road and the list of improvements and priorities and whatnot. During that meeting, there was a quick mention made of Allegheny River Boulevard. I don't know if that was just in reference to another place in Penn Hills that we're looking to invite traffic, and it wasn't really part of this. I know this is just dedicated to Rhode Island Road and not Westmoreland County, although we mentioned Westmoreland County. I'm wondering if this resolution earmarks fundings to just Rhode Island Road, if anybody knows that, the money.
Yes, just right.
Yeah, what this concerns, Mr. Swatchik, is there was some funding that became available really without a lot of notice. And so we worked with our congressman's office to get an application done. Our planning department was able to really be helpful in that.
Yes.
So this grant application, if it's funded, will fund improvements to Rhode Island Road, as it says.
Okay, my question, maybe I'm not phrasing it right.
Mr.
When-
Swachtek, if I don't mean to interrupt you, but, and again,
I
this is,
answered it.
and you know, but this is not a question-answer session. We have that during our workshop meetings. So you're certainly free to use your public comment time and make any comment that you'd like, but the manager went off course and said, yes, this is specifically for the improvement to Rhode
Okay,
Island
I
Road.
just wanted to clarify that because we did mention Allegheny River Boulevard during the Road Eye dedicated workshop. So we didn't mention it for any funding to go there, and that's fine. I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for
Thank
comment.
you. Any further comment from the public? Any comment from council?
I have a comment.
Yes, Councilman Getzey.
I'd like to see a copy of that because I'd like to know specifically what kinds of improvements are being made, or is it a general grant that we would decide on later?
I would be happy to share with you the application.
Okay, thank you.
Any further comment from council?
I too would like to see a copy, manager.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. So this is very exciting because we have been having, for those of you who aren't aware, we have voting meetings and we have non-voting meetings. So our voting meetings, as you can see, they're very formal. We're making a record, so we address each other because we know we all know each other, and some of you out there know who we are. But if anybody goes back to look at the minutes or looks back in history, they need to know who this is speaking at what time. So these are more formal meetings, and your homework should be done ahead of time. But we do have non-voting meetings where it does lend itself for give and take, and you can ask questions and we go forward. This is very exciting. We've had a few meetings already. We're not through yet. What we want to do is improve our gateways. So the first one we're working on is Rhode Eye Road. We do have the Shade Tree Commission is simultaneously working on Allegheny River Boulevard, and yes, we absolutely do want to work on Allegheny River Boulevard. We have a brand new road on Lime Hollow Road. That the improvements made to that were with the help of Representative Tony DeLuca. So, Lime Hollow Road is, if you take a look at it, it's been improved very much. Crescent Hills Civic Association has long ago, back whenever I first moved here, I know we were doing cleanups back then. Halton Road has the new bridge and so forth. So right now, probably if we look at, if you will, the worst entryway right now is Rhode Eye Road. So that needs, we're talking about long-term goals, short-term goals, and immediate goals. Over a year ago, we started on this, so we're still working on this. We encourage any and all of you to come to our workshop meetings where we go back and forth. But we got a call from United States Congressman Connor Lamb saying that this money is available. It just came up, so we wanted to put an application in for this grant. So we're seeking $1 million. Don't know if we'll get it, but we're asking for it. We want to make some immediate improvements and some long-term improvements. So it's pretty exciting what's happening with Rhode Eye Road, and the involvement is really great, and we encourage everybody to get involved because, the more ideas, the better. Roll call, please.
Councilor Fascio,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes?
Councilwoman Sapp, Councilwoman Sapp.
Is your phone?
I'm sorry, is that a yes? Okay. Deputy Mayor Pecora,
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
A resounding yes.
Okay, item 7, resolution 24 approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for item 7J?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2022-25, accepting proposal from Crescendo, Inc. for the purchase and installation of a new phone system.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Pecora. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilor Fascio. Any comment from the public? Any comment from council?
I have a question.
Yes, Councilman Getzey.
Could this be done without a competitive bidding process?
It was done via RFPs. We issued an RFP. We've been having a lot of issues with the current provider. We actually lost service at the library not so long ago. So our IT director issued an RFP for this. We're currently paying about $56,000 every year for the system we have now. Under this proposal, we'll be paying about half of that. So it's going to be a savings to the municipality by making this switch. And the other real part of it is the system that we have. I think it's having some issues with getting service because of its age. You could fill in the blanks if you want.
Yes, absolutely. We got multiple notices from our current provider saying that they were going to shut off certain services across the board. Those services included T1 lines, POTS lines, and DSL lines. Those lines we have at our Senior Services Center, at our Department of Public Works, our Parks and Recreation, and unless we changed or got a new provider, those phone numbers would be shut off. So we had to jump on this as soon as I got those. So.
Further question, did we get any other responses to the RFP?
Yes.
It's included in the packet.
Yes, we got 6 separate responses.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilman Getzey.
Yes?
Councilwoman Sapp. Deputy Mayor Pecora.
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese.
Yes.
Councilor Fascio.
Yes.
Resolution 25 approved.
May I get a motion for item 7K?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve a professional services agreement with Campbell Durant PC.
Thank you, Councilor Fascio. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Pecora. Any comment from the public?
Bill Mouch, 1335 Maple Avenue. Are we hiring this company as a labor contract administrator for what? All of our employees or just a certain segment? And it seems to me when I read the budget, it was almost like an open-ended contract that they can charge us whatever they want for as long as they want. And I was wondering if you have a limit on how much we're going to spend, if that's in the contract, that they can only go to a certain amount. It may end up being tens of thousands of dollars for what? You know, I think our employees are, especially the police department, the EMS, they're worth every penny they make, you know? And as far as cutting costs in the police department, I think the biggest way to do that would be hire more police officers, ASAP. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comment from public? Any comment from council?
I have a comment.
Yes, one moment, Councilwoman Sapp. Councilman Getzey asked first, so we'll have you go after Councilman Getzey. Thank you.
My reading of the Home Rule Charter says that professional service agreements don't have to be bid. And I just think for the public's information, we confirm that council can make that. Correct?
Yes, you are correct. And not only that, because it's a professional service, you wouldn't have to bid it, well, regardless of your home charter.
To follow up on Mr. Moutz's question, is this for all employees or just the police department?
Yeah, sure. Through an appointment of labor counsel, it's for the legal matters and questions that the mayor and council may have for that attorney. So, I mean, it's,
Well, was it for the police department specifically or for all employees?
I think it's for whatever legal advice and services the mayor and council desire.
But in our discussion, it was typically for the police department, if you recall the meeting.
Thank you.
Any further comment from council? Oh, I'm sorry. Councilwoman Sapp, we'll put you, the manager will put the phone up to the microphone so we can hear you.
Okay. I believe he just answered that question. I just wanted to give further clarification. I know that a lot of people have some questions and need clarification on the reason behind us doing this and whom the representation is for. So I just wanted to make sure that that was made clear. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any further comment from council? So I have a comment. So we have contracts are coming up, and these are contract negotiations, and they start out with talks, and then you move into more formal negotiations. Mr. Mounts there. So what happens, obviously when you're in negotiations, there are attorneys on either side. This is nothing out of the ordinary. The police will have an attorney representing them. We'll have an attorney representing us. It's really a typical, a standard contract. Anytime you're negotiating, you only control one half of the picture, right? I mean, chances are good that we'll have discussions and we'll just settle everything. It's just so that we can have a dedicated representative. Our police are absolutely important. They're the largest portion of our budget, as well they should be. They're for public service, and they do a fine job. And so we just want to make sure that we have a contract that everybody's happy with. There's nothing out of the ordinary, and ideally we'll just, have negotiation talks. And at the end of the day, somebody has to draft the contract. We have to have a meeting of the minds as to what the contract will say, and we will use this. We will use their services on an as-needed basis. And certainly any time if we felt that it was expensive, we can say we need you for this portion or we need you for that, but we don't need you for everything. This is just a routine procedure as we move into negotiations. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Sapp?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Pecora?
Yes.
Mayor Calabrese?
Yes.
Councilor Fascio?
Yes.
Councilman Getzey?
Yes.
Okay, item 7K approved.
Thank you. May I get a motion for item 7L?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2022-26, approving distribution of the American Rescue Plan funding to nonprofit service providers.
Thank you. May I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Getzey. Any comment from the public?
Beach Howard. Felix Catlin, 223 Detour Drive. I just wanted to say how gratified, I'm sure a lot of people are going to say the same thing I am, to be considered for funding with these funds for all the nonprofits in Penn Hills that applied. The backbone of the municipality is not only the hardworking staff here in the government center, but also you have a really, really nice group of volunteers. So on behalf of the Penn Hebron Garden Club, we're celebrating our 101st year as a club, and our barn is entering its 188th year. And we hope to continue to be an asset to the municipality of Penn Hills, and hope to see you there. I've seen many of you there. And we have great times. And those of you I don't see as often, I hope I'll see you. Thank you.
Mr. Catlin, I think the applause conflicted with your announcement. Can you say that time again?
Oh, yeah. The barn is almost 188 years old. It belonged to the Morrow family, and it has a historic designation as the Morrow Barn. And the garden club itself has been organized really since about 1917 in another form, but for 101 years as the Penn Hebron Garden Club. Thank you.
Howard Davidson, 3857 Green Valley Drive. As you can see, we're all anxious to get up here and thank you. Anticipating your vote, I wanted to thank Scott and Chris Blackwell for working with us when we submitted the application and follow-up meeting, that sort of thing. And I want to promise that we'll spend the money wisely and continue to serve the community. And I want to invite the audience and council members to continue to come to the barn and participate at our events. What do we have Wednesday night, Felix? Karaoke. Karaoke night Wednesday night. So I imagine there's a couple singers out there. What do you think? You know, we're gonna. Scott is going to, Sean is going to have a book floating around in the audience so they can pick a song that they want to do. And we're all set to have a good time. And we'll continue to have the coffee house throughout the month of April and May. And we'll continue to have other periodic events, and we hope you join us. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Howard, thank you very much for your service. Thank you very much for what you do.
I'd like to take the time out. I'm Jamar's Place of Peace. I'm Winona Harper. I'd like to take the time out to thank Penn Hills for having, I'm getting ready to tear up here, for having confidence in my organization for what I stand for. For I'm an interrupter here in Allegheny County and Penn Hills. For my son lost his life here in Penn Hills. And it is an honor that Penn Hills consider my organization to be a part of the healing process and helping the next family. Because I always say one family, one person at a time. Come out to the barbecues with us. Come out when we pop up throughout the community. Come out when we drive around and give out our food and literature to help the individual that may be in need. And I'm also looking forward to working with your Penn Hills Police Station here to help everybody. Thank you so much.
Sean Caress, this 413 Crescent Gardens Drive. Hey, let's keep the good feelings coming. What do you say? Like everybody else said, thank you all for your support and supporting the Penn Hills CDC. I just wanted to briefly let the public know that this process has been over 6 months. You know, this isn't a matter of Sean asking for money and we receive it. It's an application process. I've met with the municipal manager and Chris and the council and mayor several times, working through a strategic plan, ensuring the accountability is going to be there that you expect when funds are being given out. So with that, you know, once again, thank you for your support. If there's one thing that all of the organizations have in common that are receiving this funding, it's that we all love this community and we want to improve the lives of our residents. Thank you.
I'm Andrea Gatze, 151 Crescent Hills Road, and I want to thank the Penn Hills for honoring our request for $1,000, which was replacement money for funds that we lost due to everything that we couldn't do in 2020 and 2021. And so you have replaced our money, and we'll be able to use it for the things that our civic association does that benefits the public, which is we maintain bus shelters at 3 locations. We maintain a sidewalk that stretches from 2 streets, between 2 streets. We clean Lime Hollow Road 4 times a year. And otherwise, our attentions are focused on within the community. But thank you very much for granting our request.
Any comment from council?
I have a comment.
Yes, Councilman Gatze.
I'm pleased to see that some of these applications were approved, and I think they're all worthy of it. But I question, all the applications we received were not approved. My question is, will the people who were not approved be able to resubmit their applications at some future time? And if they, for whatever reason they were not approved this time, would they have that reason and have the opportunity to correct or change whatever it was that they were not able to receive approval this time for?
Based on fund?
Yeah, as we discussed in our informational meeting, based on the funding, absolutely, we would love to be able to do this again, but, you know, right now, we're just talking about this year.
Well, but my other question was, can they resubmit it? Most importantly, will they get the information from us why they were denied approval of funding this time? Make any corrections or changes that would require them be capable of getting funds next time? Will they be told why they were not funded?
You know, all I know, you know, when we had our meeting, the things that we talked about as to why we were, for example, well, I don't know that, let me talk to the solicitor for a moment. I had to check with the solicitor because when we discuss things in executive session, I don't know that I'm at liberty to say that in a public meeting. So we are sending out letters. That they haven't gone out yet, but there will be formal letters to every applicant. So you know, those who are here that thanked us, and you will receive a letter. I don't know how soon that check will come or how that will go, but there will be a formal letter that goes out to every applicant, whether or not they have been granted the request or whether or not they've been denied. And I can say, though, that in our meeting we did discuss that, you know, depending on funding and so forth, we would love to be able to open that. Right now, we're just dealing with this year. Each year we have a different budget.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Thank you. Any further comment from council?
Council? Are we on council comments?
No, not yet. We haven't voted
All
yet.
right.
We're
Okay.
still just on item 7L. I would like to say that each and every one of these organizations, you know, for as long as I've known, as long as I've been in this position, as long as I've been being involved, we truly have a really, really solid volunteer base here in Penn Hills. It's the dedication and the hard work. I mean, people put so much time, effort, and passion, and it is truly a joy to be able to make these grants, because it's our money, right? It's your money too, and it's so wonderful to be able to help you execute on the ideas that you have. And so truly, I think I speak on behalf of all the council when I say thank you so much for all that you do, because you are the backbone of this community, and words are not enough, and so we too are grateful that the funds are available, that we can say thank you for what you do. Here's funds, no matter how large or small, to help you to continue to execute what you do for all of us. Because I always do say, we don't all live in the same house, but we all call Penn Hills home. And these are the things that add to the value of our home, whether it's tangible or just emotional or whatever. But thank you so much. Roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Pecora,
Absolutely, yes.
Mayor Calabrese,
Yes.
Councilor Fascio,
Yes.
Councilman Getzey,
Yes?
Councilwoman Sapp,
going to abstain from this one because I had a question and I know that we're already in the vote, but I got kind of skipped over.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I asked for a comment from council. If you'd like to make a comment, feel free.
Am I okay to do that now?
Yes,
We already
please do.
voted? Okay, I apologize. So the applicants, Mayor, who will make those final decisions on what applicants are approved and what applicants are denied?
Well, we had that meeting already.
Right, I did not get the information, being that I am out of town. I did not receive the information.
I'm sorry, you said you were out of town?
Yes, I am out of town. That's why I'm participating via telephone. And so I didn't get that information. That's why I wasn't at that meeting, and I didn't get the minutes of the meeting. So I heard you say that some of the information wasn't going to be made public this evening, that you talked with the solicitor.
Right, I was
Am I
talking
correct
to
in that? Okay, all right. So I'm just going to go ahead and abstain my vote.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution 26 is approved. It's recorded as an abstention.
Okay, so it's been approved. Final comments from council. Deputy Mayor Pecora.
Yes, I'd like to make a comment. I'd like to thank my colleagues for voting for the resolution for the Memorial Highway for my dad. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. And I'd also like to make a comment. Me and Mr. Andrew Jack, our manager, and Chief Cuomo have been working on a project for the last 2 to 3 months in regards to putting up more cameras, plate reading cameras in the community in case, there's a crime committed, someone tries to exit Penn Hills, enter Penn Hills, it'll help our police officers. And also, if they would go into another jurisdiction, like, say, the city, they'll be able to pick up on these people that commit crimes in the community. And I'm very happy to be working on this project. It's going to be done, I would say, with Scott, maybe within the next month or two.
We did approve to install more license plate readers, 4 more. I got an update earlier today where that is. I think some of them are actually in construction now, so very soon, I think.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, it'll be great for the community, keep us safer, and it'll also help our police in case of a pursuit. And I just wanted to let the public know. Thank you.
Thank you. And then in alphabetical order, Councilor Fascio.
No comments, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Getzey.
Yes, I have a comment. Last month I was away and there was a vote taken on the plan change that involved the bus. And I voted no. I voted by phone. I voted no and didn't have an opportunity to explain why. My concern is this. I'm not against progress. I'm not against business, and I'm not against zone changes, but the impact on the residents who live in an R1 district have their zoning changed is significant, because R1 gives you the best environment to live in the neighborhood where you are safe from distractions, let's say. So my plan is, my thought is, that people who are displaced or suffer any kind of impact loss because of a zoning change should in some way have their fortune, or whatever you want to call it, loss mitigated. And I have several ideas in mind, but one would be to give them a tax forgiveness for 0 to 10 years to overcome the possible depreciation of their property value, because people who are making money shouldn't be making it on the backs of people who are going to lose some value. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Sapp.
Yes, I'd like to say that it was a pleasure to attend the ALOM conference this year with you, Mayor, and Councilwoman Fascio. It was very enlightening as always. We did learn a lot. We gathered a lot of information. We are able to bring back information at the next non-voting meeting from vendors and some updates on some of what we're using already, some cost savings. So it was very good for us to be there and represent Penn Hills this year. We represented very well. And again, we will be bringing forth some very valuable information to the public. Thank you.
Thank you. Likewise, I agree with Councilwoman Sapp. It was a pleasure to be at Seven Springs with Councilwoman Sapp and Councilor Fascio. It was the ALOM, and that stands for the Allegheny League of Municipalities. That's a training session, so to speak. I also attended a session up at Penn State University. And so those are the ways that we gain information because, you know, this is an ongoing learning process. I would like to say that I am very excited about the strides that we're making on Rhode Island Road. We're not through, and again, I please do invite you to join us in our meetings on this because these are our gateways, these are our entranceways, and so we would love to have input from everyone. Starting next month, one of the things that we hear from residents is that they would love to have information. So starting next month, we're going to have on the first and third week of every month, we're going to have information in the Penn Hills Progress, and we're trying to get them to expand their delivery base, but you know, that's a private business, so we can't dictate to them where they're going to deliver. But that's one thing that we're going to start to do, and we will be working on the website, we'll be working on information through the Trib, and we encourage you to continue to come to our meetings, and please attend the non-voting meetings, because that's more of a give and take. These meetings are more formal. Having said that, thank you so much for everyone here tonight on behalf of council. Have a very good evening, and the meeting is adjourned.
Good night, everyone. Have a great week.
Good night. Enjoy the weather.
Thank you, I need it.
Yeah, really, Kathy, this is Joanne. You're sitting there in the sun, huh?
I wish
Well, good.